The way restaurants used to look 20 years ago, with AI can do superficial stuff.
What is your first love? Then there's so much thought and everything is so connected with the other thing. It's not easy to do it. I want you to give something very special to our viewers who are watching you. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the CEO Chronicles. My name is Diksha Vohra and we have a splendid guest with us today. Now, I have known her for a very long time because I not only know her as a star interior designer, but she used to also run a beautiful salon. Now she is focusing her entire energy on doing lovely commercial projects for people like you and me who are established entrepreneurs who want our spaces to look beautiful. Today we're going to be talking about Pinterest designers versus legit interior designers, what differentiates them, perhaps even the role of AI in design development and so on, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, thank you so much, Sumita, for joining us on today's show.
It's a pleasure, Diksha, and to see you itself is a great pleasure for me.
How sweet.
I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. Sumita, I have done some research on you and I understand that you have been in this field for 20 years.
Yes,
Yeah?
that's absolutely right.
So in these 20 years, if you can just break these down into certain eras of designing. 20 साल पहले ये चलता था, फिर इसका ट्रेंड आया, फिर इसका ट्रेंड आया. What are the milestones that have come in between and what are the changes that you have seen in this industry?
So the changes have been phenomenal in terms of the kind of materials, the variety of materials. What is available today wasn't available 20 years ago. So the evolution is very evident. People are seeing, even when you walk into a restaurant, the way restaurants used to look 20 years ago with some basic wooden claddings and, wooden tabletops. At that time, Korean and, solid surfaces were not available. Now you have more resistant, more durable surfaces and more variety of, materials to play from. So design has definitely, design and materials and finishes, everything has evolved in 20 years. It's a drastic change.
I have come across a lot of people who are using Pinterest for their own interior designing. Obviously now you have the competent ChatGPT, which is also a good competition, I would say, because now it's really easy to put a photo of your drawing room on ChatGPT and say, listen, do the interiors. I'll put some nice things there and, give the whole vibe for you. So in the presence of AI, where it is especially now and how it is developing, Pinterest and all of these things, why do you think the world still needs people like you?
AI can do superficial stuff, okay? AI will never have the soul. So when you're doing something from Pinterest or when you're, asking an AI to generate an image, it will understand your requirements maybe logically, but it will not understand your emotional requirements. And design and creativity is a very inwardly thing, not an outwardly thing. And Pinterest, and when you're replicating things and you're asking ChatGPT or the other AIs of the world to do design and, or planning for you, they're not going to get into those aspects. We as human beings, we understand human behavior. Diksha, you may be different than I am, and every client is different.
Correct.
But the same room, if 10 people are uploading more or less similar images, is going to come, as a response from these AIs. So we understand human behavior, we understand emotional requirements. We as creators, we think from within. We definitely, there are inspirations that we seek, but how to, make it work for you, how to adapt it to your life, or whether it is workable for you or not, is the point that we need to ponder and explain our client. And I explain my clients also likewise.
I also think, and adding on to your point itself, that something looks very good on paper, but it may not look the same when you actually bring it home, which is why a lot of people, especially with online shopping, especially clothes, etc., now we see that we are right swiping and we're ordering clothes from Amazon and Noon, etc., or Shein and all that. But when they come home, we don't feel good in them, and that's how we keep them. I think that is also something that happens, especially with interior designing pieces that you just buy online, thinking, अरे यार ये तो अच्छा लग रहा है, उसकी स्पेस में अच्छा लग रहा है, लेकिन हमारी स्पेस में कैसा लग रहा है वो हमको पता नहीं ना, उतनी समझ नहीं होती हमको.
Correct. So it is about how things are put together.
Yeah.
When you can't be sure of buying a piece of cloth online and going, and you're not sure whether you're going to keep it or not. How can you be so sure of buying something online and then retaining? Okay, small items here and there, some crockery and all is understandable. But when you're doing an overall, say an apartment or a villa or an office, you need to go there. You need to physically touch and feel. You need to see how it is, integrating with the other pieces or other finishes of that space. It is very important how the whole story looks together rather than one chapter each. It has to link. It has to form a picture. It has to form an overall theme. So that's why it is very important to touch and feel, and then decide what goes well for your space.
Very nice, very nice. So Sumita, you have actually worked in 3 countries.
Yes.
You worked in UAE, India, Africa, and so on. What, or maybe let's just, a better way to put it is, what are the different cultural changes that you feel that you act, because you're blending everything together and bringing them into your design. So what are you picking from Africa? What are you picking from India? What are you picking from UAE in your designs?
UAE has inspired me most out of all the 3 countries, because here I'm catering to Indians, I'm catering to
Everybody.
and I'm catering to even Africans. So I mean, even for Africa, the project that I got commissioned on was while I was in UAE. Even all the projects in India right now that I'm working on are once I was in UAE. So it is the beauty of this place that you're catering to a multicultural segment of people. They all come from different backgrounds. They all have different emotional requirements. They all have a different narrative of how they want their spaces. Again, what works for one doesn't work for the rest. And when you're from different cultural backgrounds, the game changes altogether. So
Correct.
I think UAE has taught me so much about all the cultures. So it was so easy working in all these places.
You must also be coming across a lot of clients who think they know everything about their space. They would be coming with designs and saying, you know what, Sumita, do this for us and so on. Especially with commercial interiors, because technically, in their opinion, there's not much to be done. So, they would have liked some office cabinets and things here and there, and they would be bringing that to you. How do you deal with such people?
See, while they might feel they know what they want, they might not be aware what they actually need and what works for them. Maybe the picture that the IT firm is getting is of a lawyer's office, which is meant to be very formal, clean, chic looking, while an IT firm can have a very cool, casual environment. Also, the images that they're getting might be from some office in London that has hardwood floors that doesn't even work for a climate like UAE. So we had our duty as designers is to educate them and tell them what works for them and what's not working for them. Also, what I do normally is I tell them to send me images. It's not a problem. But as an intuitive designer, I connect the dots and I see what is it about each image that they are liking. I question them. Why this? Why that? I try to understand the psychology behind and then derive and translate it into my design for them to have what they like, but not entirely replicate. Understand their, their choices, their tastes, their requirements, and then kind of put it on the paper.
What is your first love, residential or commercial?
I love both. A mother cannot differentiate between her babies. But yes, commercial. They're fast. The decision making is quicker.
Do you think commercial interior designers are very underrated?
No, I don't think so. Because when we are designing a space that is meant for business and where the numbers are involved, something, for example, a retail space, the total design of a retail space is a huge indicator of how your business is going to run. So, no. And even for an office space, I would say, the productivity, the efficiency increases in the way the space is designed. So, and the kind of clients that I have worked with, they know the value that an architect or an interior architect brings on board. and that is why they hired me. So I don't think there was a time when interior designers were more known for engaging on residential projects. Not anymore. People understand the importance now.
Or even in commercial spaces. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. How do you think all these fine five-star hotels and these beautiful restaurants, why do they make you feel good? Why do you enjoy certain ambiences so much? Because
Someone's invested its mind and energy.
yes, mind, energy, planning, and bringing it to
life.
execution. What you're seeing on paper, how it is actually translated to reality. And as business owners who are aware, who are progressive, they're aware of this fact and they cannot do without it.
Let us actually now delve into any one of your commercial projects which is really close to your heart. Something that you would say, Diksha, I'm so proud of this project that I executed.
I am involved with a client of mine by the name of Kashish. That's an Indian ethnic retail brand, which is, I don't know the exact number of years, but I think more than 20 years old in India. And I have been a part of their retail design journey for over a decade. And the way we have evolved from where we started today is phenomenal. I'm very happy to be involved in this journey. And the client has understood the importance and the role that the architect or the designer is bringing on board. Also, their vision is very clear. They know what they want from their brand. So that is also equally important. When the client is clear about their business goals, it becomes easier for us to deliver.
And tell me, you've brought up this term quite a few times, interior architect.
Yes.
What is an interior architect for our audience and how is it different from a regular interior designer?
So I use this term because educationally I'm an architect and professionally I'm an interior designer. So I can switch between the two roles at any given point in time, but interior design is my passion. So is why I use the word interior architect. So architects can diversify into interiors and architecture both, depending upon their interests. But interior designers are solely dedicated to the internal environments, internal built environments.
But I think along with architecture, you also bring, in comparison to other interior designers, you also would be able to bring a very nuanced sense of understanding the design of a space, the why, when, how, what, and perhaps involving you from the time perhaps even a building is built or something is even taken. I think that is where you would be able to perform your best.
Totally. We even go for identifying properties with our customers, in terms of how the footfall is going to be, to estimate all that, the location, how the branding is going to come here. Does it have enough space for branding?
Correct.
Will it have good visibility for the people who are walking by the street or down that corridor of the mall?
Right.
So same goes for, any business that is customer oriented.
Okay, so Sumita, what are some of the mistakes or some of the myths that you would like to bust for clients and say, bhai, ye band kar do, ye mat karo. This is not going to do you any good.
Yeah, so I think after everything has been finalized, the way some clients at times go back and forth is
I know
is a nightmare. And not as it is not just about the work that is involved at our end,
Sure.
but it also costs them a lot of time, a lot of money. The production might have been done, the materials might have been sourced, and doing that again means triggering a whole reaction of activities, whether it's about sourcing, getting new materials, taking approvals again, getting it produced again. So everything gets impacted. It may seem like a small change on the surface, but the back end chaos that it creates, and so it is very difficult. It gets very difficult to manage at times.
For a client, it is just like, it's just a small change, do it. But then there's so much thought and everything is so connected with the other thing. It's not easy to do it. What else would you want to highlight here?
I think we've already mentioned that, bringing in Pinterest images and saying, oh, I love this and I want this. So we tell them this is, hundreds of people around the world are copying this. Why do you want this? Why not something that speaks about you, your
Correct.
personality,
Correct.
or your company, your business goals? Why just
Do
replicate?
you go on shopping with your clients?
Yes, I do, especially for residential.
Yes.
For commercial, normally we select and we send it for approval, and it is, it is approved based on images or videos that we give them. The loose furniture, especially for residential, definitely I go for shopping with my clients. I help them decide, what to buy from where, so that they don't end up making mistakes or buying everything from one place. I'm totally against that. There needs to be versatility. There needs to be diversity. We cannot let your home speak that, everything is Marina Home or everything is, from a certain store. You don't want people to identify, and you need to create that mystery and let them ask you, okay, oh, that's really nice. Where did you pick it up from? And, while the entire room can be simple, just one element which is, fantastic, sculptural, and sits on a side will catch your attention and make the people around ask you, okay, where did you get this from? So it's very important for the clients to engage their architects or their designers to go with them for shopping.
Now I have some this or that questions for you.
Okay.
So you have to tell me which one do you prefer. So this is going to be quick, yeah? First is residential or commercial?
Commercial.
Yes, the love speaks. Clients which have big budgets or smaller budgets but which have more trust in you?
More trust is very important.
Yeah.
They will eventually be happy with what they're getting. If the trust is lacking, no matter how much you run around, and it sometimes becomes very difficult to please the client.
Okay. Architect or interior designing?
Interior designing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my soul.
That's your soul. That's what you do. Very nice. Let us talk about beauty or functionality.
Functionality any day. A beautiful looking space may end up being a nightmare for you.
If you don't, you're going to use it. You don't know what to do with it.
Yes, if it is not user friendly and if it is not according to your lifestyle.
Right.
But a functional space, even if simply done, can work for you.
Very nice. Very nice. UA designs or Indian designs?
So UAE designs cover everything. I would say UAE design.
Very nice. Okay, I'm going to be sharing a list of myths with you now.
Okay.
And you need to tell me, you need to bust them for me rather, and you need to tell me what is the right thing. So first is, expensive stuff is always good.
A big false, a no. See, expensive stuff, you need to know where you need to spend your money on an interior. You may buy the most expensive flooring and end up with no budget for anything else. Or you may clutter the space with too many expensive things, but they're not in the right spots. They're not where they're meant to be. It'll end up looking chaotic rather than visually appealing, or even the functionality gets impacted at that time. So I once remember going into someone's bedroom and they said that, we've bought the drapes from here, the bed is from there. It was heavily done, heavy drapes, big tassels, small room, cutting the window. The actual size of the room also started to look small because of the way it was done. So rather than investing that budget on expensive things, hire a designer, allocate a small budget for the designer.
Yeah.
They will help you streamline your purchases and it will not cost you more. Within the same budget, you can accommodate the budget of
everything.
Yeah.
You have a point because, see, I'll tell you from what I have seen, especially in Dubai, we're a very status conscious society here because you do have a lot of affluent class that stays here. And then the intention is to show off of all the brands that you have accumulated in your house. So I have seen this too, that, my drapes are, the fabric is Dolce & Gabbana. This is this is that. And I'm like, I just feel like I've come into a museum.
Yes. Don't make it look like a showroom.
Yeah.
Don't make it look Don't make it look like a showroom. Have a place. This is your home.
Seriously.
I mean, it should look and feel good to you. For how long can you tolerate those names on the drapes and the sheets and everywhere?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you go home, you want to relax, you want to wind down, you want the colors that make you feel good, energize you in the morning. There is emotional attachment, not just brand attachment.
Correct.
Once you wake up, some people may like to look at a good family portrait. Some people might want to read something. So
Correct.
It has to revolve around the needs of a person rather than just some fancy names. Okay, if you're fond of it, add it, but in a planned way, in a proper way. not just randomly picking up something as if it's a fish market and
I agree, yeah.
loading your home with it.
Next is interior designer architect, one and the same thing.
Oh, no, they're not the same thing. Like I explained to you before, an architect is the one who does the co-planning for a building. They decide the way the building is shaped and how it looks and how it primarily functions. But interior designer is the one that adds soul to it. It is based on the human interactions, the human behavior. It is about designing the inside of that building, the inside of the built environments. So that's how they differ. They're both essentially very deeply connected with each other. So I would say if architecture is the body, interior design of the space is the soul for it.
Let us go to the next one. Good on paper always sits right.
No, I can draw anything, but how well it is executed is very important. You need to have that design that you've drawn on a piece of paper delivered the same way. There is a lot that goes behind the scenes. There is a lot of detailing, there is a lot of planning, coordination, constant follow-ups, and a lot more to have it the way it is done on paper. You may have a very good looking design, but a bad contractor or an inefficient contractor engaged to build it, you will not get the result.
Project management is boring.
While it may sound boring to many, but it is essentially that gives life to the design.
Right.
It is what project management is something that protects your design. You may have a different PMC team, or your architect can project manage for you, but the moment you get a design, you need project management, coordination, planning, so that your design falls within the budget that you have estimated, within the timelines that you have on your mind, and the look that you want to achieve, because they will look into every detail, whether it's being followed the way it has been instructed by the architect or the designer or not.
All the clients know exactly what they want. Interior designer is just to execute their plans.
Sometimes they feel they know what they want. And so I sometimes wonder, why do you even need a designer when you know already what they want? But so it is our duty to tell them what they need, what is right for them, what is their requirement. We have to ask them, we have to communicate, ask questions, and bring them to a direction that is right for them.
Correct.
And if still sometimes they're hell-bent upon something, we give our professional opinions and we leave it to them.
And my last question for this podcast, and we've had a lovely podcast, we've discussed so much stuff. At what stage of a project should somebody involve an interior designer like yourself?
From the very scratch. If you're building up a new property on a bare land, it is very important that you engage the interior designer also from day one, so that you don't make and break and the same things over and over, because the architect may design from a different perspective. But when you sit with the interior designer, the perspective for interior spaces can change, which can lead to demolition of some walls, some spaces, adjustment of interior spaces. So it is very important that you involve the designer from day one to minimize these changes later on and save on cost and money both, cost and the time both.
Thank you so much, Sumita, for your time. We had an excellent discussion. We've touched on so many topics in terms of what works, functional spaces, when should you involve interior design, especially the benefits that you being an interior architect bring on the table. So for everybody who's watching us, I would actually tell you, do one thing. Just go and look at your room, your bedroom or your office room, and ask yourself, do I feel comfortable and motivated every single morning when I come here? Is this space meeting my daily needs? If yes, great. If no, give her a call. Just get an idea and see how you can revamp your space and make it look much better. And next time when you're buying a property, it is time to reach out to Sumita so she can actually help you with the entire interiors of your property. So Sumita, you're on this podcast with us. I want you to give something very special to our viewers who are watching you?
Absolutely. The first 5 viewers who reach out to me, I can give them a 30 minutes free of cost consultation for any one of their small areas, whether it's your office cabin or your bedroom or your dining area, living area, whatever it is that you want to work on. I can give you a layout plan and mood images for it. First 5 customers who reach out to me, thank you.
Very nice. Well, I think it's a fantastic offer. If you are still thinking whether to avail it, honestly, just DM her right away. Okay. Her contact details are mentioned in the description box below, and please reach out to Sumita on her Instagram as well. Thank you. Thank you, Sumita.
Thank you, Deeksha.